This entire military is one cohesive, dedicated force. And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gab-fed show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. We have been honed into a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know what's good for you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We've seen war. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
I want to make it clear that the views expressed by our hosts are not considered the official stance of MBR Views. Remember, this is all about having fun and enjoying the ride.
I mute. Hello, I'm here. It's MJ's hour, or maybe a little more. I don't know. We have some big things coming today. Big Pharma. Who doesn't want to talk about Big Pharma? So we're going to talk about it. I was asked numerous times to get to my disability story. So we're going to hit that today too. But what happens? There's that word but if you came the last one. Catch how many of those triggers are we going to get, right? So let's keep up with that. We're going to try not to. There's another word, try. MJ needs to turn around in her chair. Hold on. Okay, let's try this again. I held my nose, I closed my mouth. I took a drink. Love potion number 9. Who knew? Maybe the gypsies back in the 1800s. With love potion number 9. It was a concoction of maybe opiums, maybe alcohol, maybe, well, who knows? I mean, there's so many things that the physical science, Western medicine knows better than everybody else, including Father, Mother, God. Did you ever realize that? Ha! Okay. We even have Kiara Weedens coming on today. We know her as Katie. She has the show, The Smile Show. And she's going to be my guest here coming on when I get finished. So let's get into this. Big Pharma and the United States military. Haven't you ever figured out or wondered why when you go to the VA, it's always a pill and a pill and a pill. Here's a pill. Here's a pill. PTSD. Here's a pill. ADHD. Here's a pill. You have the common cold. Here's a pill. The common cold. Why are we pilling people for common colds? Why? Do we actually, have you ever heard the commercials on TV? Oh, look, we can do this, right? But yeah, it's going to cause blindness, irritation, bowel movement, carotid of your artery. It's going to cause everything else. So how bad are you really feeling to take those pills? How bad? Let me tell you, 24 major drugs was given to me by the military and then by the VA. Each one destroying another organ of my body. Until I had enough common sense. Yeah, it only took me 30-something years later. But I did it. Why? Because I look at fear and I laugh it in the face. I look at will, determination, faith. Father, Mother, God would not have me alive today to tell this story if I didn't have faith. Think about that, all of you out there. All of you who've come home from the front line, with your battle wounds and your scars. You came here because you were able to see and comprehend and have the will that says, no. It was forced upon me and I have free will. And Father, Mother, God is going to let me here today because that's how I wrote it. Get it? Okay. This is what this is about. I'm going to take you back into Las Vegas. I was on TSC, Special Forces, for my 2069 comm group. There were 25 of us on an evening in November 1987. Actually, let me take you 2 weeks before this to see where the military's hospital confusion relied on. 2 weeks before this, we were doing red flag operations at the base, not even out in the desert, at the base. I happened to be in a hangar, 2 hangars down from my beautiful Thunderbirds, and they had detonated a bomb inside for runway tactics. Like, this was all practice, and we have to have it, right? We have to have it because this is why we can't go in not knowing. Where we were was inside of this hangar when that bomb blew up. And if you've been in a bomb area, you know that force is going to push you like no tomorrow. Well, there was 4 of us and we all got thrown back. But when we got thrown back, remember the old tables, the foldable tables? They were made of this particle wood with this little metal ridge on the bottom of it. And then the metal legs would fold out with a little thing. Yeah, they're still around. Some of them, know what I'm talking about. It started there. So we got thrown back. I got thrown back onto that table. Of course, I got up. I felt jolts. I felt pain. I was like, damn, shook it off, right? Shake it off. Da, 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 da. And you're like, oh, I'm good. However, adrenaline's always in there, right? Got that adrenaline rush. Woo, here we go. And then come to realize something's not right. You have your aches. If you ever been in a car accident, same thing. You have your achies, right? You have your, that was muscles I never even knew I had. And you get in these achies. Pass it off. I told you I was very, very, very athletic in my life. And being athletic in my life, I brushed a lot of pain off, just like most athletes do, right? They brush that pain off, right? Got to go. And we did. We went all right. I went 2 weeks brushing the back pain off, thinking I just muscle. And 2 weeks later, in the same red flag, I was asked with 25 of us, we were asked to come in. 10:30 at night, mobility. Okay, but this is part of red flag, right? Part of strategical missions, part of that which we prep and we prepare. And I get it. I do. Air traffic controller. You heard this on another one. If you have the slightest problem, you are on something called DNIC status. DNIC status. DNIC status means that you are not controlling airplanes and you're outside picking up cigarette butts that your fellow beautiful soldiers want to throw on the ground. Or you get to help peel potatoes, or you get to help in the office, or you get to do, for better words, a remedial task that's not inside of your general study, right? Remedial tasks, which is fine. We all have to do them. We all have to help and support. So I get there, 25 people, and the only task that we were on, strategical missions, 25 of us. Get there, told us to put our backpacks down, get in a line, roll up our sleeves. Of course, the mouth, right? They always have to talk. Always have to ask why. And I said, sir. Actually, it was a lady. It was a ma'am. Here we go with the sir and ma'am. They'll probably yell at me still. But it was a female. I said, ma'am. I said, I do believe that I am coming down with a common cold. I was told by science doctors, one of which was my mother. Do not take those inoculations if you are sick. Now, I told you, I felt like I had a runny nose. I didn't want to be in denic status, and I told her that. She literally looks at me and tells me, well, guess what? Do you have a doctor's excuse? And I had to, of course, my sarcastic ass at that time says, no, because I had no idea that I was coming to this. You called me at 10:30 and I'm here by 11:30. I had no idea. So how could I even get that done? And she's like, well, you're in air traffic. If you're not feeling good, you're supposed to be going to the hospital, right? I go, no, I'm supposed to be going to the flight surgeon to get on denic status, which none of us do, and you know it. She told me, roll up my sleeve or get an Article 15. Yep. What'd I do? I was a sheep. I wasn't going to argue an Article 15. I roll up my sleeve. I get this injection. Doesn't even tell you what the injection is. She stamps your freaking little yellow cards we used to have back then of all of our inoculations. Stamped it, time, date. Yeah. November 7th, 1987. Mutation live. That's all it says. Mutation live. Mutation live. Mutation live. Do you hear that, science world? Mu-fucking-tation live. You hear it? I'll say it loud. Talk about PTSD. Where do you hear this? Sci-fi. Telling you, sci-fi. That was the only mission that night. They load us. They come back. Within probably 4 days, my body, I started losing weight. Right? I was like, good, because I was on chubby chicken, right? Back in the other one, chubby chicken. I was like, oh, wow, look at there. I'm now, not 125. I'm now down to 120. 10 days go on. The tips of my toes hurt. They hurt. There's like stabbing pains in the tips of my toes. I go to the flight surgeon. I said, hey, something's going on. I said, I can't get rid of these like pains in the tips of my toes. He goes, huh? He goes, did you hurt yourself? Did you fall? Did you blah, 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 blah? I said, well, as a matter of fact, about a month ago during Red Flag, I said, yeah, I fell backwards. I said, my back's been hurting since. They send me to X-ray. Nellis Air Force Base sends me to X-ray. I get into X-ray. They take a picture. They tell me my Scotty dog has a broken neck, which means my right L5 has been cracked in my back. Okay. That was from the blast. I get it. So I was like, okay, that's the tingling. 1 week later, I step on the scale because I'm realizing that my clothes aren't fitting. I'm now 114 pounds. Rapidly losing weight. Rapidly. I go back and I said, the tingling in my toes have now climbed. It's like now up to the middle. So they inject steroids into my spine. Steroids. For the pain that the break is causing. The pain that the break is causing. That's what they said. Steroids. Okay. But I'm still losing weight. Now I come down with this god-awful cold. A cold like you would never imagine. Today in 2020, you would imagine it. But this was 1987. This is now we're in Christmas time, December from November. To the point, like, I couldn't get up for a week out of my bed. And now this stabbing of my toes is now climbing all the way up into my ankles. It's in my ankles. To where every step I took, I am in tears, crying, pain. It sounds like someone's just taking a knife and slashing me. So I go back and I'm like, there's something wrong. My beautiful Nellis Air Force Base lieutenants, colonels, captains decide that I have conversion disorder. And they put me in a freaking psych ward for 2 weeks, talking to me about how bad air traffic control is, how it's stressful for my body, how it's becoming to deteriorate my body. Now, mind you, I have had so many awards and I was clapping through like crazy. I enjoyed air traffic control. I loved it. There was nothing in my realm that I didn't like. I got to go to commercial. So you're going to have to hold on that suspense, and we'll be right back.
Been home about 6 months now, and I still have my doubts. Well, I'm not sure how I got here or how I'm gonna get out. Well, my mama says I look the same as I did before I left. But if she could see inside of me, it would scare her to death. Well, I can still taste the powder from the barrel of my gun, and I can hear my sergeant screaming, "Run, soldier, run!" And I can feel the backpack on my shoulders, God, and weighed a ton. And I see death in every single thought. Well, they taught me how to put that uniform on. I just can't get it off. Last Saturday they honored us in a small parade downtown. And when they shot off those fireworks, I nearly hit the ground. And while they smiled and cheered for us, all I could do was stare. 'Cause part of me is here at home, but part of me's back there. Well, I can still taste the powder from the barrel of my gun, and I can hear my sergeant screaming, "Run, soldier, run!" And I can feel the backpack on my shoulders, God, and weighed a ton. And I see death in every single thought. They taught me how to put that uniform on. I just can't get it off. Yeah, there's no end in sight. 'Cause even though I'm home now, I'm still fighting for my life. Well, I can still taste the powder from the barrel of my gun, and I can hear my sergeant screaming, "Run, soldier, run!" And I can feel the backpack on my shoulders, God, and weighed a ton. And I see death in every single thought. Well, they taught me how to put that uniform on. I just can't get it off. Well, the devil's won some battles, and he may win some more. But don't he know the American soldier will always win the war?
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Hey, okay, so yeah, here I am in the psych ward because MJ's a psyche. And of course, MJ's mouth always getting her in trouble. And maybe that was that free will, that heavy spirit, because I'm in the psych ward, and I would knock and I'd ring the bell going, I don't belong here. I really don't belong here. I literally have physical pain. I really don't belong here. I drove them freaking people batshit crazy. And I know I did. In the meantime, I was lucky to have beautiful friends. And the gentleman who was looking after me got a hold of my mom, got a hold of Dr. Irely, which was a colonel in the Air Force, all saying, what is going on? They knew me. They knew me growing up. They knew I didn't have a psychological disorder. If there was one thing I was going to do, it was going to be, I was going to face fear, and I was going to laugh fear in the face. That was just my MO. That was my I told you, I would face a 7-foot person and go, let's go. I was that egotistical. I was that callous. Yep. But that callousness and that rudeness and that egotism got me through this. I'm going to tell you, and it's going to, and I'll guarantee it got every single one of you between 18 and 28 through that front line. That you ain't going to take me down attitude. Okay. So here I am in the psych ward, and now my friend is now at the flight surgeons going, she's not this. What is going on? She just took a vaccine. He said that to the flight surgeon, and the flight surgeon looked at him square in the face and said, it's not the vaccine. He goes, it is. She was perfectly fine. Folks, at this point, on my 11th day in the psych ward, I now weighed 105 pounds. No more chubby chicken for MJ. She was losing weight rapidly. They didn't know why. So then they decided they're going to test me for AIDS. AIDS. Okay. I was not a promiscuous one growing up. I had my fun, but I wasn't one of them. And I kind of stood back going, that doesn't even make sense. But because they couldn't figure out what was happening, or they did not want to interfere what was happening, they said nothing. So it was finally, they got me out of the psych ward because I was caught. All hell was raising, all hell. And I refused. It was going to be one of those that you are not going to do this to me. And I had that in me. I had that fight. I had that, no way. Or is this going to happen? So they released me to send me back home. My friend was helping me at my house. By this time, that tingling, I'll give you an idea of this tingling that I'm talking about. Sit Indian style, like put your legs Indian style in front of you and sit on them for about an hour or 2 hours. And then try to get them up and see what happens. They hurt. It's painful. It is something called parenthesis. Parenthesis is what it's called. And that is that you're blocking off the circulation. Your nerves aren't working, right? The nerves are now dead. And I wasn't even crossing my legs. They're just going. As it starts to ascend, it now goes up into like my lower hip area, like what our spiritualists would say. That's our root, our roots, right? It came all the way up. At this point, I became incontinent. So conversion disorder, being incontinent, really? Having this type of pain, really? Having a cold that I still couldn't get over, really? Conversion disorder? The hell out of here, United States Air Force and Department of Defense. This is where I disagree with the only thing that I can tell you that I have ever disagreed with my journey in the military. Their lack of respect for the human body. The lack of respect for the human body. And I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it, and I'm going to say it. And I don't care who I'm pissing off, and I'm going to say it. I was a beautiful athletic person. Still beautiful. Trying my athletic ships right now is a little bit challenging, but here it is. Gets worse. Gets worse. So now I'm at home. They send me to a neurologist in Las Vegas. Neurologist looks over me. He tells me, you have Guillain-Barré. I said, excuse me? He goes, you have Guillain-Barré. And I said, what the hell is that? He goes, did you have a cold? Do you have EBV? Do you have any of that? I said, I mean, I've had a cold for a long time. Can't get over it. EBV is Epstein-Barr virus. Epstein-Barr virus is mononucleosis. I said, my God, I had mononucleosis as a kid, kissing disease, right? I mean, it was major in the 80s. In fact, food for thought. 1984, the injection for Guillain-Barré was removed from the United States, period. It was removed because it was causing people, it was an EBV, it was Epstein-Barr virus, mononucleosis. They started to inoculate, right? Big Pharma, let's inoculate for this one too, right? Let's inoculate. And tell you take those inoculations, shove up your ass. All of you who want to believe in that. Because from the man who walked the foot of this earth, Hare Krishna, lived 125 years in the most epidemic virus culture there was, 125 years. And he never, there's viruses out there. Yeah, there's plagues out there. Yeah, there's diseases out there. What are you doing to make sure that your DNA is wrapped correctly? What are you doing to make sure that your body is as healthy as it is? Are we putting junk like this? Are we putting junk like this in our bodies? Who's buying that? I didn't buy it. It was a gift. It still sits there. That is why we have issues in our body. Right there. Going back to basics. Anyway, continue with this story. So I was like, I don't even understand. Still no tests. He just claimed it. He wrote a thing, claimed it, gave it to the flight surgeon. Flight surgeon looked at it and he goes, I disagree. Now you sent me to a specialist and now they're going to disagree with the specialist. That was the first time I ever heard the word Guillain-Barré, by the way. I heard about Epstein-Barr mononucleosis because as a child, I had it, the kissing disease, right? Most of us had it. Except I didn't know anybody who had it. And I wasn't kissing anybody who had it. So how that could be, why? Okay. So the injection, got my shot card out. Now they're asking, where's your shot card, right? These little yellow cards. They bring it up and on it, it's written, live mutated EBV. Live mutated EBV. Live mutated. So live viruses, when injected into you, yes, could be very crippling for your health, or your body could fight it. And then as that virus starts to develop different variations, it develops with it and your body can handle it. That was the best thing that they did to me. Truly. They gave me a live virus, not what you got today. Synthetic, that virus can and not morph. It can't morph. Why do you think people who got inoculated with COVID are still getting flipping COVID? Because you have to go for a booster and a booster and a booster and a booster. Let's do the booster chain. Booster, 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 booster. No. Stop it. You're going to keep getting it because it can't morph. And all the stuff that you're throwing at it is not allowing it to morph. So people who are like, man, 8 injections of COVID, and look, I freaking have COVID. Well, really? Why don't you take something else synthetic and put it in your body, just like my little fruit pies? Seriously. People don't think. Why? Because you're sheep. You're sheep and you're scared and you're running with fear. And you believe that Big Pharma wants to help you. Big Pharma don't want to help you. Big Pharma doesn't want to help you, ma'am. They want money. Money. Big Pharma's about money. And it always will be. Right? Paying your doctors $250 freaking for an hour visit. And then on top of that, you have a $300 pharmacy bill and more. I mean, some of these pills are ridiculous. Yeah, and you'll go impotent, you'll go blind, you'll have, kidney stones, or you'll get hangnail, or you might not sleep. Do you want me to tell you the whole thing of them? Getting sidetracked. You can still see the seeds, right? Still see those seeds. So now here I am sitting on my couch because I can't walk. Because every time I walk or somebody touches me, or if I wear clothing, it literally feels like someone's taking an axe and stabbing it into my legs. That's how bad the pain is. They might as well have just cut off and amputated my legs at this point with the pain. And I'm sitting there on morphine. They have no diagnosis. They have no idea what the hell they're even talking about. And they are just morphining me to death. That's it. A back x-ray. And now they take a CBC. Do you know what a CBC is? It's a basic blood test. See where your cholesterol is, your iron, your this, your that. A CBC. And a back x-ray. At this point, Nellis gives up. Nellis Air Force Base Medical Center gives up. I get a hold of Dr. Irely, my mother, actually. I didn't speak, I don't think, to them much. I think it was my friend Steve who did it. And now they're shipping me to Castle Air Force Base in an evac plane, because the parenthesis now is below, like right here. It's literally below my breasts. That's how far the stabbing. I'm incontinent. I'm wearing adult diapers. Folks, I am all of 19 when it started, 20 because my birthday's in December. 19, 20 years old. And a bullshit reason that I'm being taken out. That's how I felt. This is bullshit. There should be somebody stopping this. When we come back, I'll tell you what happened at Castle. But here we go. We got to go to break again. Let me calm down. We're going to go to the salt cave and calm down in the salt cave. This cave is a one-stop shop to heal whatever ails you. Whether you just need downtime, whether you need respiratory or lymphatic, blood pressures, just any type of program that is medically necessary to you, I am sure salt's going to play one of those factors. I mean, we use saline for our eyes, we use salt water for our ears, we gargle with salt water for when we have sore throats, and we're even putting salt water spray, nasal sprays by our doctors up our nose. Except most of these things that are by our Big Pharma or our doctors are actually not salts, like Epsom salt. It's not even a salt. This is true to form. We're not kidding anybody. The properties are what they are. You can look it up in science magazines, health magazines. Himalayan salt is the only salt you want. You can digest it. You can eat it, burn it. You can lay in it like tub baths. You can use the actual steams with all the minerals so that you can actually put those minerals back in our skin and our face over hot steamy water. Salt, when you put the light on, sometimes they sweat and sometimes they water. Oh my gosh, my rock is leaking water. And that is the most perfect rock. I always tell everybody, I want that rock back. Because 1 out of every 100 rocks might sweat. And that's, it doesn't mean it's bad or good. It just means it's that much better. It's just that much better, right? Because we don't do negatives here. We do anything that's positive, that's what we do. Except our ions, we have to keep our ions negative. Why? Because the negative ion in the density of the salt creates our body to be a higher in pH balance, right? So that's the goal. Our goal is to raise our body in pH, lower the acidity level, because then we all become healthy. Healthy like weight, healthy like bacteria, viruses, fungus. None of them can penetrate. So that's the cool thing about our salt. So why not take a seat and get every amount of healing that your body can actually have for 1 hour in the salt cave. Let's...
You're going back in? There's still men out there. God damn. When I go home, people ask me, "Hey, Hoot, why do you do it, man? Why? Just some kind of war junkie?" I won't say a goddamn word. Why? They won't understand. They won't understand why we do it. They won't understand it's about the men next to you. And that's it. That's all it is.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
I want to make it clear that the views expressed by our hosts are not considered the official stance of MBR Views. Remember, this is all about having fun and enjoying the ride.
Okay, so here I am getting lifted to Castle Air Force Base. They have me in an oxygen mask. They have me with, the cuffs, the blood pressure cuffs. They have me on the heart monitors. They have me as if I was going to code. I couldn't understand at the time. I'm like, what are we doing? They all wore hazmat suits. I remember looking at them in hazmat suits. And I'm like, I don't have AIDS. I understand that's what you're trying to make it look like, but I don't have AIDS. I can prove it. How can I prove it? Because I had already taken a test from my friend who was helping me to make sure that I didn't have AIDS. So that was just a crock. But what else did they know that I didn't know? No idea. Isn't it funny? Hazmat suits to treat somebody who's ill. What's that sound like, people of 2020? You do know it's 30 to 40 years before anything comes out in our public of defense. I told you about that, the other one. Airplanes that came out 30, 40 years later after they were test trialed, right? Keep that in mind, especially the deserts, United States Air Force. Get there. And now they keep asking me over and over. One doctor after, I had 8 doctors. 8. And not one of them were infectious disease or specialty virus. Not one of them. They were all neurologists. All 8 of them. Neurologists. And 1 internal medicine. Sorry, there was one. One that was internal medicine. 7 neurologists and 1 internal medicine. So they started to say they wanted to see all the tests. And I said, this is it. I have a CBC and a back x-ray. That's it. So they started to run. They did a spinal tap was the first thing that they took. A spinal tap. Okay. So they took a spinal tap. My lymphocyte count in my back, cerebral fluid, was 18. Folks, normal is 2 to 4. Normal. So now the rude awakening. What the hell is happening? So now they put me through a litany of neuro tests. They put me on EMGs. If you ever had that done, that's fun. That's real fun, where they stick needles into your muscles and then they use an electronic machine to move your muscles. You don't think that freaking hurts on top of everything else? But it's okay. They just kept pumping morphine and kept pumping more morphine and kept pumping more morphine, right? Delusional. Thank God again for Steve at the time. That was his purpose with me. They finally acknowledged that there was something going on. 4 of the 8 said that I had Guillain-Barré disease, and the other 4 said, no, she does not. Still, there's no diagnosis made. Still, there is nothing that they're doing to actually stop. And it's climbing, and it's climbing to the point now I couldn't even lift milk jugs. The milk, just to lift a milk jug was impossible. To stand was impossible. And there I laid. My beautiful mother, wouldn't stop. Talk about where I got my will. Talk about that determination. She got what Dr. Arley called the senators as airbacked out of there. Went from Castle Air Force Base to Geisinger, Pennsylvania. So all my beautiful people in Geisinger. I came out in a stretcher, and the person who was first there, I know her as Mona. Her name is Melissa. She was a classmate. And she started crying. She goes, "What's going on?" I go, "God, I don't know. I don't know." Still an oath, right? TSC clearance, still an oath. Not allowed to speak. Shut it, airmen, shut it. Didn't say a word, right? They get in there. I underwent with Dr. Marcheski 18 hours of evoked potentials, EMG, you name it, a litany, including good blood work now, right? Look what they found. My titers of Epstein-Barr virus were out of this world. I don't recall them. That's too many years ago, because now they're down to like 900, but they were up in like 3100s. It was insane. Ready to hear this one? My SARS were climbing. So now I have EBV climbing and I have SARS climbing in my body. Climbing, just destroying. I am completely now auto and neuroimmune. Not being able to walk, not being able to feel hot, cold. I remember my dad was still alive. My brother came in. I was laying in the living room waiting in this beautiful chair down by my mom had by the fireplace. And the story my dad told me was, as I laid there sleeping, him and my brother put this, it was winter, they put this steel pipe on my feet. He goes, "You didn't budge." My dad goes, he goes, "How?" Like, I remember him going, "How do you not feel that? How do you not feel something?" Sickening that my own military people infiltrated something that I was trying to create freedom for others, and they were taking us out. I get the diagnosis to the best abilities as possible. They asked the government, "What did you give her?" They said EBV. And the card says it's mutated. What was it mutated? It wasn't. Well, you can't have it because in 1984, and this was 1987, it was removed from the frickin' United States. So what did you give her? Silence. Right. Silence. Yep. Silence. So I get myself, they gave me convalescent leave. I get myself to the point where I am able now, I don't know how many months, but I get up, I'm in a walker. I went from a wheelchair to a walker so that I had support not being able to feel my feet. By this time, the actual pain is gone. So December all the way until, I don't know, probably June. And now I'm in this walker. Still not being able to walk properly, still not being able to do things. And my diagnosis was an acute transverse ascending myelitis post-vaccinal, post-EBV of a mutation unspecific. That was my diagnosis. Because I was not ventilated on a respirator, they chose to tell me I didn't have Guillain-Barré. But they questioned MS. Now I had to go through MS. Everybody now, it's MS. She has MS. She has MS. It has nothing to do with the military. It has to do with MS. There's nobody in my family who has MS. There's not anybody in my family who has neuro issues, period. Didn't make sense. But I'm going to tell you, I get back. And again, thank God to the senator of Pennsylvania at the time and Dr. Irely and my mother. They allowed me to heal. They put me on convalescent leave in order for my body to heal. At that point, in the mix of all of this, remember I told you Ronald Reagan? I had orders now to go to Miami. Here I am in Miami still. I had orders to come here. So they moved me from Vegas to Miami because of I'm going to be working Homestead Air Force Base, or I'm going to be working Miami International in conjunction with one another during that time frame. Yeah. And it's at that point I was in denic status so long and now claimed and labeled with neuro. I lost my job. I lost all of my studies, all of my education. I lost it all. Anything I ever wanted was gone because I didn't pass that class 2 physical. So as I healed, the VA said, well, how about we send you back to school? What they don't tell you is, there's Joey again, that money thing. That do you stay with the military when you're disabled and for that little percentage, or do you go VA? Which one do you do? Which one's the better medical? Neither. So I've lived my life like a king, and then I live my life like a peasant. Why? Because I come out like an MS. I come out of these remissions to later find out. Let's now that you know the story, I'm getting ready to where I am actually up on a cane, getting ready to make the transition. And my family and my friends are telling me, go on base and get an attorney. I did. I went on base. I got an attorney. Guys, I got to take another break. This is why this show is going to be a little bit long, because I do have Katie waiting as well. But you need to hear the sci-fi story. It's coming. So we're going to take a short break. We're going to go with the creative vets here.
I think of me before the war, but that 24-year-old is just a shadow on the floor. I've lived and died in hell 8 times. I'm gonna take this last one and bring it to the light. No one sees the struggle behind the walls of war. Signs say all are welcome, but we can't get through the door. Tell me why no one hears the things we say. Tell me why you just choose to look away. Always step for what's right, when what's right isn't just fighting for a country that won't stand up for us. Sometimes I feel like giving up. Lay down the dreams I got and let them turn to dust. But I still got fire left in my blood. No soldier should be left behind or feel like there ain't enough. Tell me why we gotta beg for you to change. Tell me why you ignore the 88. Always step for what's right, when what's right isn't just fighting for a country that won't stand up for us. Oh, we lay down our lives, and you can't do what's us. Tell me why we gotta beg for you to change. Tell me why you ignore the 88. Tell me why no one hears the things we say. Tell me why you just choose to look won't stand up for us. Tell me why, tell me why, tell me why, tell me why, tell me why. Just stand up for us. Just stand up for us. Just stand up for us.
You going back in?
There's still men out there. God damn. When I go home, people ask me, "Hey, Hoot, why do you do it, man? Why? You're some kind of war junkie?" I won't say a goddamn word. Why? They won't understand. They won't understand why we do it. They won't understand it's about the men next to you. And that's it. That's all it is.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
I want to make it clear that the views expressed by our hosts are not considered the official stance of MBR Views. Remember, this is all about having fun and enjoying the ride.
Okay. Tell me why. Exactly. Word junkie. Yeah. Tell me why. Tell me why they won't stand up for us. We're here to protect, but yet they won't stand up. That was really beautiful with creating that. So I appreciate that in this one. So, okay, here we are. So now I get back to Las Vegas and I am now being debriefed. I have 3 months for me to be able to get out. Debriefing and debriefing. I told you my debriefing sucked. 12 hours a day, black room, headsets, them telling me my life story in the military. Sad part is they can do brainwashing all they want, but triggers, we talked about triggers, trigger. They all come back. So I go on to base because I'm being advised by my senior master sergeants and some lieutenants and friends that I've made at Nellis to go to the attorney on base to figure out what's going on and basically me going forward. Where do I stand with all of this? So I go and I speak with him. Now I've collected all of my medical documents. I went to the base, asked them for all my stuff, got my stuff out of Sacramento at Castle, got my stuff out of the neurologist in Las Vegas, got all the stuff from Pennsylvania, got all that. I have all my stuff in my tiny little suitcase, right? At this point, I weigh 84 pounds. I'm a walking skeleton. I've been going to see the attorney for about a week, back and forth, going through stuff, trying to figure stuff out, where I stand, what's going to happen. And on the one day, he says to me, tomorrow morning, you come in, we're going to file an injunction. I said, what? He goes, we're going to file this injunction. And I said, oh, I don't know what this all means, but he goes, it's to help you. He goes, because they're going to drop you. They're going to hold you in convalescent leave and then you're out. He goes, unfortunately, you need to file this. So I gather my stuff. And the next morning, I had an appointment. It was 9:30. 9:30. That night before, here's the sci-fi. The night before, I was asked to go to the All-Stars game, Las Vegas All-Stars. So baseball. I lived off of Lamb Boulevard, not on base. I lived off of Lamb Boulevard, off of Nellis Boulevard, in these little cute little condos. And it was just me and my dog at the time because my friend Steve had already got sent to Miami. So now I'm on my own. And my my departure papers were I was leaving in a week. And I was still going on base for treatments, and I was still going on base for this. I come back from the All-Star game. My car, I didn't take my car, it was picked up. My car was ransacked. My house was ransacked. And my dog was tied to my front door open. Most people would say I got robbed, right? That's my mind. I got robbed. Somebody robbed me and was kind enough to put my dog on the same so it didn't run away. Kind of. What? What robber in God's Boone Hill does that? 1988. Which one? Who did that? Who would do that? Yep. Who would do that? So as the the Las Vegas Metro-Dade police were standing there and trying to take prints, do whatever, they go, what's missing? I go, I can't see anything missing. I don't know what's missing. It's just ransacked. It's like turned upside down. At this point, I know I had called my family and said, I think I was just robbed. Wasn't robbed. They go to my car and I go, my car? I go, and all of the clothes, I just told you I was now 84 pounds. I had to go buy all new clothes. I was a size 10 and now I'm a size 2. So I went and all my clothes are there. The money is still in my little ashtray that I had rolled up for the slot machines. In my ashtray. The cops goes, this doesn't make sense. Do you have a boyfriend? I go, no, he's in Miami. Do you have anybody who hates you? No, I got along with everybody. In fact, they had a big bye-bye party for me. I have no idea. He goes, what's missing? And then all of a sudden, I felt like this huge in my throat. I go, oh my God. All of my medical paperwork is gone. All of my paperwork that had me where I needed to be the night that happened, gone. Everything was gone. So gone. The police found my empty briefcase on Nellis Boulevard. You come out of Lamb, go down Nellis, found my briefcase alongside the road with nothing in it. Sci-fi, I know, it's not. I lived it. I don't give a shit who are out there. I even have the police report. When they found out, he looked at me, he goes, you're in the military. And I said, yeah. He goes, case closed. The freaking police said case closed. With that, I sent my shot records because I was told to keep my shot records away. It's the only one that I have. Natural. The yellow shot card that tells me that this is what you did to me. So now I would come in and out. Common colds, people who have common colds would take me down for 6 to 8 months. I would have just like an MS. Birthing, they told me I would never have a child or I'd die. But guess what I did? I made it, but not without complications. I lived like a king and I would do my job and I went back to school and I'm a business developer and I would make all this money. And then all of a sudden I'd get sick and there I went. And the employers couldn't wait for me. They let me go. I would lose the money that I made. It's a pattern. Talk about pattern. Pattern. For the longest time, my family and friends, why the hell don't you sue them? Why don't you sue them? I said, no. And it wasn't until later, and I'm glad I didn't sue the government, because that injection, I'm going to blow your all minds here, but that injection was for those people who went to the Desert Storm. And all of this, what I found out from the attorney here, let me get back to the attorney. So the next morning, because here you go, the sci-fi. The next morning, I go to Giselle. Giselle was the receptionist in the front, airman, like 3-stripe airman first class. Giselle. I said, hey, I'm here to see Officer Donaway. She goes, who? I said, Officer Donaway. I was just in here yesterday. You saw me. She goes, there's nobody here by that name. I'm not lying. You could ask any of my people in the Air Force at Nels in this time. I said, I'm telling you, I was just, and I just pushed myself. His office was completely wiped. Like just, she goes, are you sure you're not mentally ill? Are you sure you don't need some mental help? She goes, there's nobody in here by that name. Again. Freaking again. Make me think I'm losing my damn mind. No, I'm not. Now I have Las Vegas police who won't help me. Case closed, military. Now I have no attorney on the base. He's gone. And now I have a girl who's 3 strikes telling me that I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Gets better. Does. They leave me go. I get to Miami. I have no words. I have none of my records. I get to Homestead Air Force Base. They request my medical records. They said that they're in process. 6 months later, no medical records. 8 months later, no medical records. A year later, no medical records. I know people are like, oh, that's bullshit. No, it's not. And I tell people who say that to me is, you don't deserve my time. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I lived through, and I know what my family had to live through, and my friends who had to watch me do this. There was absolutely no clarity of anything. Ladies and gentlemen, 2009, Dr. Nancy Klimas, 2009, how many years now? She decided to do a full workup because the Miami VA brought her in as a infectious disease and autoimmune specialist. And that's what she does. She's brilliant. She listened to my story and she started, man. I mean, she started. And the first thing she did was not even request. I saw the letter. She demanded for the vial. She goes, you cannot have me here and waste my time if you're not going to give what they inoculated her in. So let's start there. 2009. Got to take another commercial. I'll be right back. Let's see. We're going to do a little bit of LT Tactical.
Introducing LT Defense Tactical Gear, your ultimate solution for top-notch protection and performance in the field. Our armor bundles provide unmatched safety and comfort, while our battle belts and holsters ensure quick and easy access to your gear. Stay prepared for any situation with our high-quality medical supplies, designed to keep you ready for action at all times. Looking to enhance your skills? Our firearms training programs will take your proficiency to the next level. Trust LT Defense for all your tactical gear needs and gear up for success on the battlefield.
You going back in?
There's still men out there. God damn. When I go home, people ask me, hey, Hoot, why do you do it, man? Why? You some kind of war junkie? I won't say a goddamn word. Why? They won't understand. They won't understand why we do it. They won't understand it's about the men next to you. And that's it. That's all it is.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
I want to make it clear that the views expressed by our hosts are not considered the official stance of MBR Views. Remember, this is all about having fun and enjoying the ride.
So I had somebody reach out. They go, don't forget all the time you had to go to Texas. So in between all this time, yes, I had to go through comps, and you have no idea. The amount of compensation tests, and you see a doctor who can't even put 2 and 2 together. Anyway, I finally they gave me 10% disability. 10%. Then I got to fight a little bit at the VA here in Miami. They gave me 40% disability. Now here you go. Somebody said, you know, there is a great attorney in West Palm Beach. He fights for the military. And I hear it a lot. Nobody fights for the military, but I'm telling you, he does. And they even have a veteran the whole side of it. And I got in touch with him. And then I got in touch, like I said, they brought in Dr. Nancy Klimas. To this day, I call her my beloved angel, my walking angel, because she demanded and demanded and demanded. And she took test after test, blood work. You name the test that they took, and it was crazy. The problem with being auto and neuroimmune, especially with an unknown substance that's in the body, is everything starts to go, right? Whatever was injectable with increased a carcinoma cell in the body. And they were looking for these different black spots. Thyroidism, I ended up with Hashimoto's, ended up with type 2 diabetes, ended up with an enlarged spleen that got infected, ended up with a liver that would completely engulf my liver in fat, almost like a cirrhosis. Then it went into my uterus and my ovaries and my fallopian tubes. So one surgery after another, they were taking parts away from my body, right? And it was like, I didn't know how many more parts. I'm like, I'm not sure there's anything left for you all to take. I'm not sure there's anything left. How about we take whatever it is and take an antidote? Like, you know, when somebody gets attacked with venom, they have anti-venom, right? Why can't we just have the antidote? They denied Dr. Klimas in 2009 any of it. She said, I can't get it. I don't know what it is. She was the one who said, MJ, it could not have been EBV. They took it out. She was the one who told me they took that virus out in 1984. It could not be in 87. It was illegal. By far illegal. She was also the one who also told me that whatever it was mutated with, they said it was a mutation. She's like, the mutation of the EBV that you had, the strand, has cancer cells, and they're in the northern part of Africa. What were you all doing? What was the military doing? I said, we were getting ready for Desert Storm. She goes, okay. She goes, that makes sense. She goes, but what's the mutation side? I go, I can't tell you. I have no idea. To this day, I still have no idea. And still today, our beautiful government, who says that they want to help, refuses to give the information. Okay? I had a lot of issues, like I told you. From wheelchairs, I had to work all the way back up to walking. And at least once a year, I would come out of remissions. I still do. The last remission I came out of was COVID. I did pretty well with COVID. But I'll tell you that story. But remember that COVID. Anyway, 2015, because I'm a belief in flipper, right? I never gave up. My free will was, I'm going to beat this. I don't give shit. I'm beating it. And that I was strong. I'm a very strong Capricorn, very determined, very willed, very, but why? I am always that person. If I can't see logic and I can't see understanding, then you have to make me understand. Because if not, the why. I'm the why girl. They hate that, right? Even parents. My God, just shut up. Thank God I didn't. Thank God I'm here today because I'm supposed to be. And all of you who are injured or crippled or somehow deformed from the military, because you had that strong will too, and you deserve that chance to speak. Veterans have a voice. Thank you, Joel, for this. Yeah, my brother always. You should go on Oprah. Yeah, Oprah will take it. Oprah, give me a freaking break. She pads her freaking pockets with the government. Oprah. There isn't one of the liberals that would tell this story and not have some type of consequence. That's why I don't like liberals. That's why I keep away. I stay in my sandbox. They stay in theirs. Right? Science world. I think Western medicine is really good for diagnostics because it tells us what's going on. It's the easiest form. But for them to touch my body again and treat it how they have been, 2015 was the last time I said something about Big Pharma. 2015, I woke up. All I did was wake the hell up. And I came down the hallway and I felt like I was going to die. I was living in a surreal bubble with this beautiful bead of sweat coming down my head. Yeah. Came over to my table. My blood sugar was 508. I was shaking. Toxicity, yes. Yep. And then I vowed, that is it. That is it. Here you go. Belief and switch. This was a major part of my healing my own body. I decided that I was going to contact one of my friends and ask her to help me come off of all these meds, that I was putting my body back in homeostasis. And yes, I am your fruity but tooty spiritual holistic guru. You are right. And thank you very much for honoring me. Because without me taking that journey and believing in Father, Mother, God, and the power of my will and the power that I had, my strength, my mind power centers, I'd be dead. I know it. With all these colds, some of them were touch and go throughout my life. If I was going to make it, oh my God, there's this, don't get this because this will for sure take you out. Every time I got sick, the fear of my loved ones, the fear. To the point on my first birth, I did a video and I made sure that my husband had the first 2 years of her whole life set up with clothes and diapers and food and all the things that he needed, not knowing if I was going to be there. Because I was told, you can't birth, you'll die. Well, guess what? Guess what, Big Pharma? Guess what, Big Daddy? I didn't die. I got 2 beautiful kids. Yep, I had a miscarriage pregnant. Then we tied the tubes. I wasn't risking it anymore. I proved my point, though. I proved it. Was it about proving a point, or was it about I get to be my free will? I get to do what I want, when I want, and I get to have it. Because it's my free will. Remember that. The stronger in your free will and the stronger your voice is, the better you become, right? Higher mind power, cancer patients. That brain of yours has to be in full force with will. You could do it. They took my breasts. I had cancer in them. They took, I had all these seeds. They took them. Here I am. Okay, how'd I flip? 2015, my brother says, listen, you need to do some CBD. So it's for all you people who don't like marijuana, CBD. I go, what? He was so involved with this CBD. He goes, please just try it. 2015, how many years now, right? I said, I have to do something, right? 508, you're not going to kill me with this. This isn't my disease. I don't deserve it. And he had me, and he goes, you need to OD on it. I go, what? He goes, I'm telling you. He goes, don't just do that 1 millimeter. He goes, I want you 3 millimeters 3 times a day, OD on it. At the same time, I was in my spiritual journey, and I also did spiritual surgeries. And I actually got to be with somebody called Tupac and John in Brazil. They gave me these pills in Portuguese. At the time, I was trusting anything that I could in the spiritual world, or God would not have put me there. That's how I felt. It was safflower. And I had to OD on the safflower and OD on the CBD and continue. In the meantime, I did acupunctures. I did biomagnetisms. I did frequencies, electromagnetic frequencies. I did Reiki. One at a time, I came off these pills. The hardest one was my heart, the heart pill. Took me a long time to come off of that one. By the time it was all said and done, my VA family, the physicians, were freaking out. I was on 24 big meds, and I removed it. By 2018, after ionic foot detoxes, infrared, salt caves, electromagnetic therapy, you name it, I had it. I was throwing the gamut in the tune of $15,000. I was throwing the gamut at it because I was not going to allow my body to be suffrage of the Department of Defense or Big Pharma and our government anymore. Period. So when people come at me about inoculations, I either tell them, you don't know who the hell you're talking to, because back it up, because you're silly. You're silly and listening like a sheep. And I have every right. My story, my belief, my will. Nobody will ever demand me to have another damn inoculation in my entire life. It's pathetic for even somebody to ask of me of that. Pathetic. Yep, my friends and family disagree with me sometimes, and it's okay because they're in that science world, and that's okay. Or they're in that world where they have to have it. It's okay. It's them. And I'm going to be here with loving arms, and I'm going to give them a whole regimen on how the hell to get out of the mess after that. That's to me. I don't love them any less, right? We don't. Belief and flip. Guess what? My diabetes, 7.3 A1C, got my body back in homeostasis. Since 2018, my A1C has been low, a 6.4. My Hashimoto's disease, which was at a highest 11.1, is now a 4.2. My liver is back to normal function. Imagine that. My cholesterol dropped. Now my cholesterol wavers up and down, up and down. This is because of what I eat, because I like butter and cheese too much. I do, and pasta. That's me. Look at me. I'm a spaghetti girl. So there you have it. And the best part about it is I flipped it. Nobody believed it. Infrareds, I did it. I healed this body, and I did nothing for 5 years but heal this body. And every time somebody goes, how the hell, MJ? And I tell them, they're like, and they have disbelief, right? And do you know, and I don't want to pick on it, and I don't, but the people who don't really believe in what I do are the Christians. Wow. And yet I'm watching them in their disease and their ailments. And every time I try to say something, they push back. Like it's demonic. Really? God made the roots. He made the leaves. He made the bark. He made the trees. He made the sand, the oceans, the fucking ground you fucking stand on. And yet you're going to trust man? You're going to trust man. I laugh. You're going to trust man, and they know all. How many times you listen to a commercial and they tell you, hey, I can help you, and it's 4 minutes of problems on that? What does that, I mean, don't you even think about that? Really? But you're willing to take a pill because you don't feel good? Come on, folks. Wake up out there. Wake the hell up. Love yourself enough to know that you can cure your damn body. You can heal it. There are other things out there than asking for a pill or a substance or an IV into your freaking veins. Stop it. Yeah, I get heated on this topic. I get very heated. That means I'm not healed. That means I have to tap out. And when I sarcastically laugh like that, that means I will take you out, whoever's blocking my path. That was me as a soldier. I face fear with laughter. I face fear with, no, you're not coming at me. Huge lesson, huge lesson. And the only thing I can tell any single one of you out there is be mindful. Be respectful, but be mindful. Realize what they're doing. Yes, as a whole, inoculations are good. As a whole, I'm not going to say that. How good are they? Some of these inoculations you're getting is because they'll tell you, whoa, we've canceled it. But you have more and more people. So if you have more and more people with this coming in, tuberculosis, look how many strands of tuberculosis, but you got the injection. Chickenpox, you got the injection. No, don't get the injection. Get it. No, don't get it. No, okay, well, I don't know what to do anymore because now you're going to tell me that, well, it's only good for, we can only stay for 20 years. Oh, okay, so I'm going to get an injection for freaking chickenpox as a female, carry a fetus, get freaking chickenpox. Now my fetus is in trouble because Big Pharma don't know? Come on. Let the freaking people have chickenpox. Let your body do what it's supposed to do. Hare Krishna. 125 years. Love. Make love. Have love. Oxytocin level. Cures the body. Hare Krishna knew it 8,000 years ago. What's wrong with our mental capacity today? Hello? Anybody up there listening? So there's my flip. There's my pattern. There's my story. Yeah, there's a lot to the sci-fi that it's not even important because it's like I said, this is how many years. And I'm already gone an hour and I thought I could do it in 30 to 45 minutes. And obviously I couldn't. I got stuck. I I'd tap my way out. And I know Katie's waiting, and I got to go on another break. We're full of breaks here at this studio. We have every 15 minutes. So we need to go on another break. And then once we do, we'll come back, and Miss Katie Weens will be with us with her Big Pharma story. So let's go. Let's do Lauren. Let's go to Lauren.
Too big, wanting to grow up way too quick, searching for spotlights since I was 6. Hello, my name is Dream Too Big. Hello, my name is way too loud. My voice can cut right through the crowd. Got made fun of for it, but who's laughing now? Hello, my name is way too loud. I know I've had my moments and I've had heartaches, but God is making miracles out of my mistakes. You can say I won't make it, and I can tell you that I don't really care. 'Cause hello, my name is going somewhere. Far. Lost all my words in a mason jar. Locked eyes with a stranger at the end of the bar. Hello, my name is You'll Go Far. Well, hello, my name is One More Try. I put too much stock in bad advice, 'cause anything worth leaving is worth loving twice. You're never gonna leave the ground. You can tell us all about it when you come back.
You're going back in?
There's still men out there. God damn. When I go home, people ask me, "Hey, Hoot, why do you do it, man? Wow. You're some kind of war junkie?" I won't say a goddamn word. Why? They won't understand. They won't understand why we do it. They won't understand it's about the men next to you. And that's it. That's all it is.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
I want to make it clear that the views expressed by our hosts are not considered the official stance of MBR Views. Remember, this is all about having fun and enjoying the ride.
Hey, we're back with my favorite Katie Smiles.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Is it hot or is it cold over there now?
It's in between. So it'll be like 60 degrees and the sun is out. So it's like, it's hot. It's crazy. Nighttime it's like 40 degrees. So I love it.
So, sweetheart, I'm so sorry. I know that story took a little bit longer, and
No,
it could
you
go
need to share
so
your
many.
story. It needs to be heard, and I felt the healing in this. It needed to come out, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank
So
you.
proud of you.
So you had some issues as well as pharmaceuticals, right?
I did. And that's what's crazy because I started my journey now. I guess the term is being holistic. I was on at least 18 different medications when I finally went to when I finally was able to get to the VA. That's a whole nother story. I had to fight. And you're right. You have to have a strong mind. But I was giving up. I had given up at one point, and thankfully my husband now, he was just like, no. And so it's nice to have that angel standing on the side of you.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So now I am not on any medications.
Oh, good for you.
It's still a struggle with depression and all that stuff, but it's a fight that's worth it. I knew I wanted to be here for my baby, and I was like, I'm gonna be 150 years old, 160 years old, and still looking fine. I was like, there's no way.
Again, if Hare Krishna can do it 8,000 years ago, live to 125, why can't we?
Yes.
Right?
I needed to show my baby something different. You're exactly right. People, it's out there. It's out there. You just have to be willing to break out the box and find the answers yourself. And it's hard. There's a lot of struggle, but you gotta keep going. You gotta keep going.
You did it. Look at you, and you're still smiling. Look at
I
you.
am. That's one thing you cannot take my smile from me.
That's right. What doesn't kill us makes us stronger in this world, right?
Yes,
ma'am. We learn so much. So, KD, when you say that you still have a little depression, do you ever think about going into a balance to try to find the physical and the metaphysical both?
So I guess that's the healing. There's a lot of stuff that I haven't healed from. And so inside. And so as the part of I was just learning about chakras yesterday.
Now you know the color glasses every time, right?
See, I didn't even think about the rose color. What's funny, my mom said when I was young, she's like, you can't be looking at the world through rose colored glasses because I've always been the person.
Yes, you can. I have every color of them. Today I'm wearing purple because I knew I needed divine and Saint Germain's energy today. So I put purple on.
I think this is so beautiful. So beautiful.
So yeah, my glasses rotate all the colors of the chakras depending on either what I'm teaching or what I have to talk about. Make it so that I see those colors, enforcing those chakra levels, enforcing that energy.
Yeah. Wow, that's beautiful. See, wow.
Yeah. So tell mom it does work, sweetie. It does. But thank you for the awareness, right? Thank you for the awareness. It's always a thank you.
Thank you. So. There's a reason why our parents and grandparents were the way they were.
Amen.
They had to be. So I learned, I don't know if I'm allowed to do this, but my sister, she's I think it's a Moru. I don't know if I'm doing. Please tell me if I'm doing this wrong. Mudra. Yes. So I just learned this yesterday, and you would never believe. I was like, oh, I'm tapping into something different. I'm tapping into a different chakra. I was like, I've never felt like I feel, because you know how it feels nothing. So I was just like, oh, this is different. And like at the end, like my hair was like this, and I couldn't get it to go down. And I was like, what happened? They're laughing at me because I was having an alpha moment, and I was just like, I kept like doing this, and I was like, what is going on? And she's like, you're literally your chakra is going up, and I was like, yeah.
The power, babe. The power.
Yeah, so that's my physical, me learning my physical of trying to get out of that depression and the things and grounding. Grounding is big key. So I literally walk outside. Hey, wait. Sorry. I got a toddler.
I understand, but I need to get your mom on this serious thing. I need to get your mom to talk.
Yes. Hey, George is on. Go watch George really quick. Yeah. Okay. PPS. So grounding. I've been doing a lot of grounding, walking on my grass, like letting my feet just go. Mama, go.
That's correct. So we ground into earth. Pachamama, Jerusa in the Bible says Jerusa. And once we can ground in, the problem is that our life and population doesn't allow us to ground in. We're always in rubber shoes, and there's more concrete than there is earth anymore. So that's where the crystals started coming from, because the crystals are from earth. They contain all sorts of beautiful frequencies to heal the body. People don't believe me, but I'm telling you, Katie, on my thyroid, I would put Endoflex all the way around my neck at night, and I would strap a Crisco-Cola stone, because I didn't have my beautiful electromagnetic machine at the time in 2015. And I would ace bandage my neck with Crisco-Cola. And then during the day, I had beautiful Crisco-Cola necklaces. Crisco-Cola and Endoflex helps thyroidism. And that one started to secretly go away. Of course, I put my body in homeostasis so that I had to recapture this. Today, and it was probably about, I want to say 2018 is when I started getting into electromagnetic therapies, to doing biofeedbacks, and to curing the DNA strands that actually were helping. Now, before that, I had, like I told you, there was so many things that I just decided it was going to happen. Either I was going to die, but I was not going to live this life. Being in the damn VA every week, I was there every week. And every time you turn around, my family was sick of it. They're like, oh my God, what are they keeping her for this time? What surgery this time? It was ridiculous. I had 12.
The VA was my second home. No, it was my second home. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Pop a pill, PTSD. Here's some more pills. For God's sakes, fix the metaphysical issues and the physical issues together. But if you can't do, and this is the chakras. Chakras are metaphysical. You know that, right? So you have 7 main, but 144 chakras without your body's symmetry. But your physical centers are your mind power centers. Your mind power centers, there's 12 of those. And when you rewire our brains can rewire to the metaphysical and physical. And people don't realize this, but this is what Tesla and Einstein and Dr. Rife were doing in the 1930s and 40s, that our beautiful government go, get out. And there went Dr. Rife. Still today, underground, getting the machines, getting them over. People are curing them. There is more holistical today, and I'm so proud of the holistical world standing up to our government, because you don't have to be a sheep, man. You don't have to be. And you don't need those freaking pills. Those pills are ridiculous, and those shots are ridiculous. If you can fix your DNA strands with the broken DNA points, with the bacteria or organisms that are on those DNA strands, and you know what? All I need, I told Joel this, all I need is a fingernail or a toenail. I'll help you. All I need. But every 30 days, you got to give me one, because the DNA, the nails are so porous.
They actually have all your stuff, literally. Your whole DNA.
Baby girl.
Yes.
This is my healer. This is my doctor.
Wow.
Every day, I will run frequencies on my body every day. Every day I have multiple. Somebody says, my husband, he got sick with a cold. I put him in there. 2 days done. Gone.
Wow.
Gone. It's like crazy. He has arthritis, and every time it flares up, I put his toenail in there. Arthritis gone. People get a headache. MJ, give me your nail. Gone. People have thyroidism. I put their thyroidism. My one friend, she goes, MJ, my thyroidism hadn't come down in years, and look. And I said, listen to me. I said, in October, I came out of remission again, this past October. Wasn't bad. I didn't even have pain. I was using this machine, using it. And I literally, for the first time, did not have any morphine in my body. Not even a pain. My painkiller was marijuana, because it's more natural and it doesn't affect my organs. So when I would get in pain, I would then smoke. I didn't start smoking marijuana. I was in the 60s too. I didn't even have it until 2018 was my first time with marijuana. Now, I did CBD, I told you, but the CBD is not marijuana. It's the medicinal side to the marijuana plant. But I didn't even have it. And I never got wheelchair. This was the first time I never got wheelchair bound. But they told me that my cholesterol was like 280. It was spiking. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not moving. I'm sedentary. I'm not walking, right? So I was like, okay. I put this machine on for 3 months. January, they took my blood again. And I didn't do anything. I didn't change my diet. I didn't do anything. Just my machine, put my nail in there, left it run, held on to nanotubes. Guess what my cholesterol came down to in January?
70.
Oh, I wish. No. But it went from a 280 to a 181.
Wow.
100 points just by this machine that was helped with Tesla, Einstein.
You have to take medicine, nothing. That's a blessing.
Let me tell you, my friend who was in the pharmacy, she was scared shitless because it's beyond her ethical code to do that. And I told her, listen, you can either help me and I will never, ever, ever say your name, or I can try it on my own. And I really don't want to because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not a pharmacist. I don't know what these pills entail. I'm just calling a spade a spade. But I was determined, no matter what, I was going to live and I was going to do it and I was going to make it right. And you know how many people I treat? I'm not kidding. I treat so many people who refuse to come off these meds for ADHD, for bipolar, for
That's
PTSD.
because they have it to where they want you to come back. It's so most of these medicines are addictive. Like I was on gabapentin and
3,200 milligrams.
Yes. So I was they had me on 800 milligrams, but I had to take 3 of them 3 times a day. And like, that was supposed to be like the super pill because everybody, the addiction got so bad, and then they want to put you in a stigma.
So gabapentin,
right?
how's your liver? I bet your liver has fatty liver now because of gabapentin. That's what gabapentin does.
No, God has been on my side. Like when I say God has been on my side, I went from 7 years, I couldn't figure out what was going on with me because the military kind of just boop. Yeah. So I didn't do 24 consecutive months. So I didn't know what was going on. So I finally got to the VA. And then the VA, my husband was like, yeah, you're putting holes in the wall. Like literally, we need to find out what's going on. So they finally was like, okay, boom. They asked the right questions. Boom. This is it. So I'm a guinea pig. Been inpatient. And then I get out of inpatient for 2 months, after 2 months, and then they just stuck me with like, here, you're going to try these. And like literally I was taking 18 medicines, and this is started in 2016. My husband was like, she does not need to be on these medicines. This is not Kiara. This is not her. And so finally, I'd say up until last year, they had me on 2 medicines, down to 2 medicines. And I'm trying to think of, they're saying this is not a bad medicine, and this is for my PTSD. It's supposed to control my PTSD. And they had me on steroids for my back because I have sciatica. And I was just like, I don't like being dependent on medicine. Like I've never liked taking medicine. Never. And thankfully, in the textbook world, I'm as healthy as I'm healthy.
Yeah.
I'm healthy. And so I'm like, okay, if I'm healthy, why can't I live? Because now I've just been in survival mode for a long time now. Why can't I live? And I found out, of course, I know you're saying you didn't change no foods, but I started changing my foods a lot. I started changing, like I still mess up. I still mess up and eat fast food, but like a lot of the stuff that we're eating also plays a big thing. Like I think you showed your apple pies. That if I ate just a bite of that, I would feel my skin crawling, and then I feel my left side doing something, and then my depression would just spike, boom, and then I feel stuck. So I know I know. I know.
Well, when I said I didn't change what I was eating, I still ate my pasta. I still had my butter and my cheese. Because that's what gave me high cholesterol. And I'm like, I don't care. It's mine, and I don't feel good. It's soul food. And I'm going to eat it.
You have to give your body a little bit of like, okay.
I know what you're looking for. I got your back, Jack. I got your back. Sweetie, I got to take a break. Give me 2 seconds. We'll be right back, and we're going to continue because I know we're going to flip your pattern. Let's just take a real quick break. We're going to play Monday. Let's play Monday.
I laid down on Sunday, dreading the morn to be dreading my life. I'm so tired of the paper chase, tired of the average pace, tired of the lies. When I woke up, the sirens went just as the ceiling fell. They stayed just in time. Make my way into the streets. No one was watching me. They ran for their lives. The kindness fills the sky, and the ground begins to shake. That I'm still alive. But it's just a Monday for me. Who would have thought it'd be the end of the world? Just a Monday for me. Who would have thought it'd be the end of the world? It's just a Monday for me. Who would have thought it'd be the end of the world? Just a Monday for me. Who would have thought it'd be the end of the world? Just a Monday for me. Who would have thought it'd be the end of the world? Just a Monday. I'll be waiting in the morning light. The sun comes up to beat the night. I'll be waiting in the morning light. I'll be waiting in the morning light. I'll be waiting in the morning light. The sun comes up, it'll be alright. I'll be waiting in the morning light. I'll be waiting in the morning light. I'll be waiting in the morning light. The sun comes up, it'll be alright. I'll be waiting. It's just a Monday for me. Who would have thought it'd be the end of the world?
All right, here we are. We're back with Katie Weed, the Smile Show. She's always smiling. I love her. Her energy is so bright and cheerful, and she's on early morning. So you gotta check out her show because you want to wake up with this one. This one is just beautiful sunshine, and I love that you came within my realm and my path in this life. Thank you. Thank you.
It's an honor. The honor, like, I thank you for coming to mine. Like, I am so honored to know you. Thank you.
Love. So,
Thank you.
So are you still on Big Pharma meds for the
No, I'm
PTSD?
completely like, so I was scared to tell my doctor and my therapist, hey, I want to get off medicine because I am on disability, right? So I'm at 90%.
Oh, nice.
And thank you. I'm fighting, and I was just like, if I tell them that I want to go to this holistic route, what are they gonna try? You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Exactly.
my so I this is fearful. This is like legit fearful thoughts. Like, what do I do?
Right.
You know,
Are they
because
going to
I
take my
still
money away
obviously
because I'm trying to cure? Weren't they supposed to help me cure?
exactly. So I'm in this journey. I don't know what the future holds, but I know God has me in his hands. But I know this journey is where I'm supposed to be. So I told him, and he was actually very positive. The doctors, so in North Dakota, it's phenomenal. Like, they want you to heal. It's so amazing. And he was like, I want you to do this for at least 3 months before you come back to me and be like, hey, I want to be back on my medication. He goes, I want you to try this. And I want you to do it. Because he was telling me that his wife did it. And he said, it's positive. Like, do this. And I was like, okay. Okay, well, I'm going to do this. And like, so to have these people in your corner, now this is your medical side. So, this is separate from the benefit side. So I'm kind of like, okay, like I said, I have to put it in God's hand because this is more have to do with what I wanted to do. I want to be here at least 150, 160 years. I want to see my great grandkids.
Yeah.
So this is, I'm excited. I'm not on any medication. Actually, I'm not taking nothing. So this is purely willpower. I there's a lot of times where I'm failing, and that negativity side, just get back on your medicine. You're not going to ever get this right. And I'm like, no, I got to keep going. I got to keep going.
Tap it out.
And
Who decided left you, boss, right? No, it is. It's a struggle. I mean, thank God for Dr. Klimas, because I wasn't even, she fought. She wrote a letter. She wrote a letter to Washington, D.C., to the Department of Defense. She wrote to everywhere she could for me. And she's like, you cannot, because the VA is really good at, well, you have X amount of time. And then when there's like, by the time it was all said and done, auto and neuroimmune, I was 250% disabled. 250%, according to their numbers. And I was like, oh my God. And I never got it. I got it in 2012, but they only retrograded to 2009. So then this attorney in West Palm Beach goes, oh, hell no. You're going all the way back to 1990 when you released her on convalescent leave. And she couldn't. When you're on convalescent leave, folks, just a reminder, it's called TDRL, temporary duty retirement leave, right? That's what they put you on because there's a 2-year mark. You can't sue the government. 2 years.
Are you kidding?
In 2.5 years, they released me from temporary duty. Yes, they did. With a court. I had to go to a court hearing where I met my brother down in, I think it was Houston, Texas, somewhere, I think, down in Houston or San Antonio. And I met him down there. And he goes, what is happening?
That's where I'm from.
I had to go back to court for a compensation court. I was like, why am I in court? And this was the United States Air Force Court.
Oh, were they trying to sue you, saying that you owed them money?
No, that they wanted to, that's when they released me and stating that, yes, that I did have a disability and that they would release me at 10%.
Wow.
And that was like 1991, somewhere like 90 through 92. I don't know the exact date, but I remember having to go. I met my brother there, and he's a big two-stepper. He goes, "Do you want to go dancing?" I'm like, "I can't feel my fucking feet, man. I mean, really? Come on,
gotta go dancing.
I'll dance in my my head with you. I don't know. But anyway, it was like, it was crazy. Even today, do you know today? They refuse to give it. Here's the sick part, Katie. When COVID came out, and I said I was going to say it, and here, because you'll get it now. When COVID came out, PTSD, man. I literally, when I didn't get COVID in 2020 because I went from I never wore a mask. I believed in my health so much and my holistics and my ability to heal my body. And I like, me and Matt Fear, I'm like, I defy you. Come at me because this person here, no, it ain't taking me down. Salt Cave one day, infrared, Salt Cave, infrared, Salt Cave, infrared. This is what I did all of 2020. My mother turned 80 years old on 2021. So in May of 2021, we had a surprise birthday. I went up for 7 days. Guess what I got? I got COVID. I hellfired out of Pennsylvania so quick down to Miami. My husband drove all night long, knowing damn well what was happening. My body, my feet started going. And it was climbing all over again. And I looked at him and I started shaking and I go, I'm in trouble. My body is physically in trouble. We went to the emergency room. We got here. As soon as we got here, we went straight to the Miami VA. And I called Dr. Klimas. I go, Dr. Klimas, I need help. And she's like, I'm not at the VA any longer. My heart sunk. And I go, oh my God. So I get in there. My husband has COVID and they released him. I have COVID. They wouldn't release me. I go, wait a minute. You just released my husband. They said, no, we're putting you in ICU. I go, wait, what? And they go, here you go. They said, I'm really sorry, but you can't. You are extreme high risk. Your levels, all of your levels are bottoming out. I go, no, you don't understand. I go, this is how my body's been since 1980. They go, I can't release you. And they started tourniqueting my arm. And I go, what are we doing? I go, what are we doing? And they go, well, we're going to give you the only chance that you have to live at this moment, Miss Gonzalez, is to put monoculars in your body. I go, wait, what? So I called my friend who was a pharmacist and she goes, MJ, I go, damn it. Just tell me. And she goes, there's no proof. There's nothing. She goes, I'm sorry, honey. She goes, there's no proof. And I go, I'm not taking it. And they refused to let me leave the Miami VA. They go, you cannot leave. And I go, okay, defiant, MJ Defier. I know I'm the Defier, and immediately, Katie, the minute they left, I took that one side, does it's like, rip. I put on my clothes. I said, I understand. And if I'm going to die, if they want me to go, it's on me, not on you. I said, never again will you do this to me. And I left. Took me 18 months. But
look at you.
Look at me. I did lose my hair, autoimmune, and I went straight into the infrared. There I went, infrared cave. And even the people knew I had COVID. And my holistic team, there were some of them who, I have some of my people in my team that took shots, which I looked at them with 3 eyes like, really? Yeah, really? You freaking took that shot? Really? Free will, MJ. I know, free will.
I got scare tactics, so I was pregnant. It's crazy. I don't even know if I want to knock on wood. I feel like God has been on my side. I'm pretty sure I haven't gotten it. Even when I got the shot, my husband got sick and he still got COVID afterwards. I didn't I was pregnant I had her in 2021. So January is when I found out I was pregnant with her. And at first it was like, oh, we don't know what the risk of what the pregnancy is, so don't do it. Literally a month before I had her, all of a sudden, God knew where my heart was. So everything went according to the way it was supposed to. My baby's here. And so when they were like, you need to take the shot because if you have COVID, you're not going to be able to hold your child. I was told that I couldn't have kids. It was going to be so hard for me to have kids. So there's this miracle baby that the VA paid for. I went to, but it was crazy. Other thing, I just found out that I don't ovulate, so I didn't need the IVF. I got sick really bad. I had a infection in my blood system. They thought I had COVID, so I didn't go to the doctor's office where I was supposed to get the IVF. He was like, "I'm just gonna send you this medicine. You try to do it on your own," and here she is. So thank God for
There
this.
you go.
But so the month before, they were like, "You need to get COVID, or you need to get the COVID shot. This is what's going on." Blah 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 blah. I was so scared, and I prayed. I said, "God, I don't know what to do." But this doctor, who's literally like, and I don't know, like, I still have fear of fighting people because I don't know. I don't want my child taken from me. Like, I don't know. This is my first child.
Right.
And so I went and got the shot. Nothing happened to me. My husband got sick. And I believe, was it the day before, he was like, we're gonna go ahead and get you to have the baby. And I'm like, but her due date's not till next week. But he was supposed to be going out of the city. He was going out of state. And I was like, okay. He was like, come into the office and you're gonna have the baby. So I prayed. I went there. They started me on Pitocin. She wasn't reacting well because I had just told her, if you're not ready to come out, don't come out. And I feel bad because I feel like I was in this of forcing her out, but here she is, alive and beautiful. But God has been with me. With, like, I took the COVID shot. I don't know if I think we got the booster. We might have gotten the booster, and here I am. And I'm just like, man, if I would have known now what I knew then, I wouldn't have let you do the scare tactic. So when I get pregnant now, I'm having the baby at home. Like, there's nothing you can't tell me now. Now I'm like, oh.
Well, now it's whooping cough. Like, now they're fearing the parents with these babies first time. And I know of people who they're fearing them that they have to take this shot. And there's some states that are requiring it's called a DTaP because of whooping cough.
Yes, I had to take that.
God!
I had to do that. Yes, I did. I had took all the vaccinations because I didn't know.
Right, first time mother scare tactics.
Know.
Oh, I know.
And then when you try to research it, they make it to where it looks scary if you don't do it. And so when you don't know and you're like, oh God, if I don't do this, I can hurt my baby. Let me do this.
Isn't that an awful fear that they put in you? Damn it. Because
yes.
And they make your whole family. Now there's some states that they tell the first time mother, nobody unless they have a shot can see your child in 30 days. Do you know what that does to the family?
It breaks them apart. Yes.
Oh, it does. Because then you're like, where's my free will? Why are you doing this? Why can't I see my aunt, my niece, my child, whatever that child was to that family? That's awful. I've asked down here in Florida, and they're like, no. They're like, I know it goes on, but they're worried. 5,000 babies. Do you know how many people and babies are born in the world? And they're worried about 5,000 babies who decided that in this lifetime, the whooping cough was going to take them out. Well, that was the free will of the child coming here, right?
Wow. Yeah.
We have to remember our life plan, our life path. Where's our purpose? Where's our soul's purpose? Where's our life purpose? I got something to share, and you're getting this will knock your socks off. I don't know if they do it anymore, but one of the things the attorney told me when I was leaving the Air Force Base was that coming in enlisted, you are used as a guinea pig with inoculations before they even hit the civilian world. PTSD, I watched that vial, and I've watched the thing on the vial, and it literally on the bottom says causes Guillain-Barré syndrome. Same vial, same words, same everything, 30-something years ago. I literally, like, my heart started palpitating. Like, I'm like, you've got to be flipping kidding me.
Wow.
Kidding me. And I go, the amount of things that I've seen in the deserts in Nevada, especially aircraft, defense aircraft, and I get to Joe, I get it. Why are we going to give the people our king or our queens before, we would have no defense. I get the tacticalness. I get, being on the top of the defending chain of things. I said, I've watched aircraft that now, after 30 years, that was out there, now coming to fruition. And they're like, oh, it's brand new. I'm like, no, the hell it's not. Do you know how many people have died test driving those aircraft? Do we even talk about, how come we don't talk about that? I go,
we just want to see how cool it is now. And like, what about the lives before?
And you know what? Again, life purpose. I don't hold it. It's a life purpose. We chose, this was our choice. And we chose our birth and we chose our death. And when you can flip that pattern to understand that, then so be it. I think if people truly want medical science, they think it's so great. Okay, but don't force it upon me. Don't force it upon people who don't want it. Don't make it, they didn't even know what the hell was going on. Or did they? How is it that I had SARS, and SARS only been around for about 20, 30 years, and I'm 38 years out? How is it that SARS, I had so much SARS in me, even Dr. Klimas wrote to me and said, MJ, I don't fear death with COVID with you because your SARS and your EBV are so high still that you already have the titer. Thank God. Because that was bad. I mean, I was all the way up to past my belly button where I couldn't walk for months.
That just sounds painful, and that sounds like I can't imagine mentally like what it does to a person, having that much pain and knowing I was this perfect human being. And now, like, look at me. Where's my life going? All the unknown.
Oh, you are beautiful. Look at you.
And it's you. That's why your story needs to be shared.
This is beauty. It is beauty all the way around. When we can flip the pattern out of anger, and I still have a little bit. I'm like, oh, I'm getting angry. MJ, I'm getting angry. I'm getting angry at the choice that man made me do. And that's the anger. The anger was that man made me do it. But did man make me do it? Where's Grizz? Grizz would have said, but when you signed up, you're going to, your life is on the line. Absolutely.
I didn't know it was going to be like with the medical term,
I didn't know we were killing off our own here, right? I mean, this just sounds like Civil War battle. We're killing off our own. It's the hypocrisy of it.
Exactly. And you think like afterwards they would embrace you and be like, okay, you've been through HE double hockey stick. Let me help you. Let me be there for you. No, that's not how it works.
I still have physicians at the VA, and I'll come in. I'll walk out. I'll just walk out. They're going to tell me that doesn't work, and that's just baloney. I don't know what the true story is, but it's not. I go, okay, we're done here, and I grab my bag and I walk out.
That's
we're done here. How is it that you can't understand there's Western medicine? Now they have Reiki in the VA. Reiki. They're doing Reiki inside of our VA systems. They're making sure that meditations are part of everybody's thing every day.
They're actually giving you like micro, like was it the shrooms too?
Yeah, microdosing.
Yes. And I'm like, what?
Way to go, government. You're finally there, buddy. You're finally there. But now so microdosing with mushrooms. Somebody else asked me this. I think it was Amber. She asked me about ketamine, and I said, never did the ketamine, but I did do the microdosing because the one thing that COVID did do for me is it gave me a false dementia. It was called COVID long haul because my central nervous system was already damaged or weak, because I'm neuroimmune from my episode. And that was the biggest fear. So when the vagus nerve started to swell, it took out my cognitive thinking pattern of my frontal lobe, and it made me have what they call false dementia. And I have been dealing with it. Like there's things from 2001 to like 2023. I don't even remember being said, being hurt, like none of it. I don't even remember. But what it's doing is now I go through cognitive therapy, and I was taking a lot of, I did Rise because it was the easiest thing. Every day I like to have a cup of coffee, but I went to Rise Coffee, which is 8 mushrooms. And the lion's mane was the first elixir I had from the guy, the herbalist in California, that I started realizing that when I would drink the elixir of lion's mane, I was very clear. I didn't stumble on words, and things were coming together. And then he told me to he was the one who said, you need to microdose, because what happens with lion's mane and king trumpet and cordyceps, all of these mushrooms for brain function, you get to be about 6 to 8 hours. And then it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm brain dead because I get up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. So by this time now, my brain doesn't work. And so they started with these microdosing of psilocybin. And when I was told about it, now you have to figure out what is your microdose, because there's sometimes I felt like I was pulling my face off and I was like, oh God, no. Like, I don't know what is going on. I understand I'm a hippie and I understand that, I get it, but I can't do that. I don't like those type of mind altering.
No. Oh, no. That's why I
like,
can't
no,
do.
cut back. They're like,
yeah, I can't do marijuana. I can't do because I get stuck. And I'm like, nope.
So now marijuana, you have to remember. So a lot of marijuana is hybrids. So, and if it's sativa leaning, that's high anxiety. That's people who already have mental issues. That's hard because it'll cause them higher anxieties and higher thought processes that are no good for them. So
that's exactly. Yeah.
Right.
No.
Figure it out. But you need indica. I always tell people, go indica. I go, because indica leaning on the hybrids are going to be better because you won't have the anxiety. There's different strands. And I'm not telling you everybody smoke marijuana. I'm not.
No.
I mean, if you're going to freaking drink alcohol, it's going to damage your liver, damage your body, make you emotionally distraught. Really?
You know, it's crazy. I loved alcohol, and just recently, up until I've stopped a lot of stuff for her, for myself, but for her, and I was just like, I love her so much, and I won't drink. I like 2, so I haven't had a drink. She'll be 3, so about 4 years.
Yeah.
4 years. And man, God is good. And so I literally have stopped just cold turkey with cigarettes. I was like the off and on cigarette smoker, there's so many things that I want to do and that I chose to do. And I don't know. I'm still learning, but I'm proud. I can say now I'm proud of myself, and that I am coming in contact with you. Like, I'm on the right journey and keep going. You give me the energy and the strength to keep going and to not turn back.
You don't have to. And the depression that you face, trust me when I tell you, there's a metaphysical reason why you're facing it. Look at that side of it. Get somebody in there to dig open those akashics and look at where it is, because that'll help you flip that pattern. What triggers that depression? Find the triggers. Once we find the triggers, now we understand them in the logic of the conscience. We're digging up the unconscious, or our shadows, that a lot of people want to go, oh, just go away, just tuck them in there. We don't talk about
that. I'm good at tucking.
Yeah, we're not going to talk. This is just me. So I'm very open and I'm very transparent, and I speak with love. I speak with kindness most of the time, unless there's a root or an issue, right? And then and here it is. Any root or issue that we have that makes us angry within, right, is not the person to make it. Like, everyone wants to play the victim in the Mars, say it's their fault, they made me angry. No. You got angry because you accepted it, because it was a conditioned energy that you wanted. The other day, I tried to help somebody on the radio. I was called in to help, and that guy wanted to attack me. And I'm like, dude, you're not healed. Oh, yes, I am. Oh, no, you're not. You are so not healed. I can tell you you're not healed, because you wouldn't be yelling at me for trying to say it's okay. That's all I said. And he goes, you're wrong. You're out of here.
People don't understand. And then until later, they're like, oh man, I shouldn't have did that.
Right. They're like, I'm so sorry. I go, I am so used to that with PTSD, especially the guys. I am so used to that I just smile going, you are so unhealed, and it's so unfortunate. And I'm so grateful that I'm able to see it. I hope someday you're able to see it. really.
And you need it to be there because they're gonna remember you. They're gonna have those aha moments. And they're like, man.
And that's what happens. You're right. They do. They leave. The people in my moon circles, the same thing. People who come for counseling, the same thing. They want to fight me because of the ego. The ego wants to fight them because they're conditioned to that energy or that awareness, and they're not conditioned to something that has been an unconscious state. And when we start digging into these unconscious states, the healthier we become, believe it or not. And that's where it is. So that's why I said, we'll talk later. And I see that we are over 2 hours, man. I know. So we're going to go. So here it is. Angels, come into us, the Templars that surround us, into the bubble of light. And may the angels carry us with love, peace, happiness, and joy, and abundance of what it is that we all desire most. Mwah. Namaste. I love you all. This is MJ, and this is KD Weens. Go ahead. When is it? It's in the mornings.
Yes, at 5 in the morning, 5 Central Time on Wednesday morning. Catch me on the Smile Show, and we will talk about we have the verse of the day, and we have our scripture of the day, and we just tie it in what we can do as a whole, and what we can do for that day to make it a fruition. So,
Father, Mother, God is all glorious and all loving.
Amen.
I love it. Thank you, Kiara, for coming in.
Thank you for having me on your show
today with us, guys. I know this was a long one. This is MJ in the world of conscious positive thinking. I know some of that wasn't very positive, but we're working on it. We're healing ourselves every day. The more we speak is the more we heal, right?
Amen.
See you next Monday. We are out as soon as I find the program. I have to find the program. Joel and them aren't here today, but I'll find it, and then we'll all leave together, and we'll all be happy dappy. Here it is. Love you. Bye-bye.
That's the show for today, everyone. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with an all-new show. And remember, you can listen to us again and again. The podcast of this radio show is available right after we go off the air tonight, anywhere that you can get your podcast episodes. And thanks for joining us today. I'd like to take a moment to talk about something close to my heart. Military Broadcast Radio is doing incredible work to support our veterans and bring their voices to the world. They rely on your generous donations and your dedicated volunteer hours to make it happen. I encourage you to consider supporting NBR in any way, form that you can. Use this QR code that's attached to the picture, or you can go to our website at mbradio.us. That's Mike Bravo Radio.us to learn more about how you can donate or volunteer even just an hour a week from your home. Help make a difference in the lives of our veterans, because once again, we're all here for you and not for us. We're giving our veterans a voice.